Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. When I woke up this morning, I saw that it had snowed overnight. Everything was covered in snow, and I figured it was a perfect opportunity to take care of a project that I had been putting off for a while. Most parents with young children will tell you that if their child is quiet for too long, then it's not a good sign. And actually, this is exactly what happened. We left Jordan on this bed, and he got a hold of a pen somehow, and he went to town on the comforter. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit intimidated by having to remove the stain off the fabric, and so I had been putting it off for a couple of weeks, but I looked up a few ways of going about it, and I found a trick where you can use vinegar, toothpaste, and sea salt, and these are all things that I had at home, so I thought I would give it a go. I started off by placing a small towel underneath the stain. I didn't care if it got dirty, but I was just worried about protecting the surface I was working on. I started off by pouring out some vinegar on the stain, making sure it's completely soaked and the whole stain is covered. I used white vinegar, but I'm sure I could have used apple cider vinegar as well. I then made a paste out of salt and toothpaste and really rubbed it in with a cleaning toothbrush. I took a few minutes and really rubbed it in and made sure the whole stain was really covered. I had to let the stain sit a little bit in some warm water, but instead of just leaving it in just plain water, I decided to add some oxiclean into the water and dilute it inside. Oxiclean works great at removing stains, so I thought I might as well maximize my chances of taking out the stain. When I was looking up ways of how to remove ink from fabric, I saw that a lot of people just mentioned to let the stain soak for 15 minutes in warm water, but I really feel like the oxiclean needed more time to work at the stain, so I let it sit for a couple of hours and I went in about the house and did other things and played with the kids a little bit. Here I'm reading a book called 10 Little Fingers and 10 Little Toes by Mem Fox. I think that's how you pronounce the name, but it's such a cute little book. I highly recommend getting it if you don't have this book. After a couple hours, I went back to see how the stain was doing, and it seemed like the oxiclean and the vinegar and the toothpaste all did a pretty good job at removing most of the stain, but there was still some residual residue, so I thought I would pop it into the washing machine with some more oxiclean and see if that would do the trick at completely removing the stain. When I took it out of the washing machine, I realized there's still some residual ink left over on the fabric itself, so I didn't put it in the dryer. I hung it dry, and that's one thing you want to remember when you're washing your clothes. If there's a stain that's still there after you've washed it, don't put it in the dryer, because the heat from the dryer will really seal in that stain and it'll be almost impossible to remove it afterwards. And now for the fun part where I get to put the cover on the comforter. I used to hate washing my comforter because it was such a pain to put it back in, to stuff it back into this sheet, the top sheet. But I've learned a really cool trick. It's called the burrito roll, I think. But it's really cool and really simple. I didn't understand in the beginning, but it works. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it. You want to start off by placing your sheet on top of your comforter. I've seen it done both ways. You can do it either below or above. I just do it above, and you want to turn it inside out. So this is the outside is inside. So you want to do that, and then you want to line up the corners. So each corner is lined up at the top. So you've aligned your corners at the top, you've inverted your cover, and then you're just going to start rolling exactly like a burrito, or maybe a cinnamon roll. That makes more sense. So you just keep rolling until you hit the bottom. it's not all rolled up. And just pull it up a little bit. And then you're at this point, you've rolled up your duvet. You're gonna take your hand inside the cover and then take the duvet itself and then wrap it over it. So kind of stuff it in the corner. Stuff it inside just a little bit, and then you want to do the same thing on the other side. Put your hand in the corner, grab the duvet, and flip it inside. And then you're going to start unrolling. So the duvet's on, the cover's on the duvet. I should have faced the front, because mine has a pattern. It wouldn't matter if your cover doesn't have, it's the same on both sides, but I should have placed the top part up. I placed it down, so it's okay. We're just gonna flip our duvet, but it's on essentially. And it's much easier than trying to stuff your duvet for 10 minutes. And there you have it. Just gotta fix the corners. Although there was still some residual ink left over on the fabric, most of it was gone, and I was okay with the way it ended up looking. You really had to get close to the stain to realize it's there. And quite honestly, I wasn't willing to go over the same process all over again. So there you have it. This is one way to remove ink from your fabrics, and an also really neat trick to wash your duvet cover without hating yourself. Moral of the story is I should have taken care of that ink stain much sooner. I think it would have done a much better job at coming out, but it is what it is. It barely shows, so I'm okay with it. If you guys enjoyed this video, I hope you give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.